Welcome to WO50 Women Over 50 Embody Wisdom and Wellness.
Hello, everybody. Today we're talking about the spring. Oh my gosh, my favorite time of year. Our topic today is renewal reflections, spring cleaning inside and out. My name is Corrine, and I'm here with my BFF, Eddi, and we've been talking about all things renewal and spring.
We've been talking about self-care and spring cleaning inside and outside with food and with our toxic stuff and sprouting and what to do with ginger. Lots of things. Great.
Lots of little tips, gardening tips, and just being in tune with that movement that we naturally all feel, but maybe you've never articulated that before, or you've had it put into words, but there is like a movement for renewal that happens to all of us in the spring.
Hi, Ed. Hi, happy spring.
Happy spring.
Spring is coming.
Spring is coming for you. Spring is here for me. And you said you saw a little green in your
There's little green things coming up through the ground. Yes, up here in Newfoundland. And yeah, they look like tulips, maybe. Little crocuses are coming. Yeah, they're coming. And then a little snow came in today, but left. And we still have a little bit of snow on the ground, but it's almost gone. Yeah. Soon.
Yeah. It's the cycles, right? The cycles. Every spring I feel you feel it like I naturally want to clean out my closet.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
same.
I want to, as soon as I get back from India, which is still not spring, it's usually late February, early March, I'm like ready to take my seedlings out and start my little, because I've got a little indoor like lamp and heating pad for my seedlings and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to take out that and start doing it.
I know, and when I hear you doing it, talking about your little seedlings and your gear, and I'm up here going, okay, I'm still in mittens and boots and hats, and I'm waiting for the snow to melt. So I begin and start my closet, and then I start purging clothes, and I'm getting rid of stuff, and then I'm trying to put my winter boots away, and then I have to haul them back out again, and so I'm like, okay, as we talk about our topic tonight, I'm like, I just threw a bunch of expired stuff away. That's a good start. There we go.
Clean out, clean out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spring it's that feeling when you hibernated for a while, whether you did or not, whether you went somewhere warm for some of the winter or not. There's still this sense, or if you live in California, that's different because the seasons aren't as pronounced, right?
That's right.
Yeah. But you still see like little baby things everywhere. And
Well,
everybody else in the world's talking about the spring. So,
well, yeah, and also, it's even just the timing, no matter what the weather, because the weather just helps those of us with the winter months to dig a little deeper and purge a little deeper for this spring cleaning that we're going to talk about. But it's no matter where you are on the planet, the season, whatever that season is, there's a shift within yourself.
yeah.
There's, whether it's to get rid of just toxic stuff in your life, or you're making a decision to, dig deep and reflect and start, I don't know, the renewal process, just like the seedlings, just like the little tulip out in my yard that comes up every year, and I look out and here they come again, and how do they get through all the snow? Or my strawberry plants, wow, the green is just poking their little head out there, and I'm going, they know what to do.
Yeah.
They know what to do.
Yeah. Try to remember that when, like whenever there's a discomfort too, it's like everything passes.
Mm-hmm.
Our discomforts pass, whether it's emotional or physical discomforts or altercation with a friend or not altercation, but just discomfort, with friendships or family or whatever. It does all pass, and it feels very different than the renewal, of New Year. It feels there's something very different about spring. It feels different on the inside, and then we act, we do things differently too. It's so what is spring to you?
Oh, and on that point, well, I'll tell you in a second, but
Okay.
when you just said that, it's like I think the whole when people make the New Year resolutions and all that, but when you get
Hmm.
into spring, you're watching it all go on the planet. Like it's the nature's involved big time here.
Mm.
And I love that saying, when you pull something, you try and pull something out of the ground, it tugs back at you. That's you, you can't get that root. Yeah.
And
So,
do you want to know a little gardening tip here? We're going all over the place now.
yeah.
This is, and Colleen didn't know this, so we were picking weeds a few weeks ago when she was here, and she was like, I don't know what's a weed and what's a plant." And I'm like, "Well, basically, whatever is really hard to get out and has roots dug really deep, that's usually a weed. And
Yeah.
what's ever really easy to pull out is a plant that you want to be there. Now, a weed is just a beautiful plant that's not in
Mhm.
the place that you want it to be. It's still a miracle, but maybe
Yeah.
doesn't look good in your flower garden. But yeah, they have the deep roots. It's so wild. They're
Well,
so
when you even
hardy.
well, when you look at like even weeds, right? And we're pulling them out, and up here we get a lot of dandelions, like
Hmm. They're so good.
they are, and they're everywhere. And there's people that will go, "Oh God, I got to pull them all out of my garden. They're just
No.
so horrible. They go through everything." And I'm like, "No, you can make dandelion tea out of that years ago. They used it for medicinal properties. It was so amazing. It's incredible. Like
And
do
you
some
can
history reading on that,
Yeah, you can use every part of the dandelion plant. Now, I mean, there's people that make salads and greens out of the green part of the dandelion, and then the
Is
root
I
has all
find
the
it bitter.
medicinal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty bitter.
yeah, me too. That's for
Yeah.
real earthy people that like that. But
Yeah.
for me, I like it what it does in the soil and in the garden. Do you know what it does in the soil and the garden?
Tell me.
So it's again has a really strong root system and really
Mm-hmm.
big. So it actually grows where your soil is too dense and it needs space and it
Oh.
creates space in the soil.
That's why it spreads out.
Yeah. And you get the root and it's
Interesting.
so deep. So I leave it
Wow.
in my garden. There's not a lot in my garden, but I have a couple, but I leave it till I absolutely have to because I know it's loosening the soil.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I know it all has a purpose. It all has, it's like the worms. They're in there tilling the soil. My
Amazing.
granddaughter saw one yesterday, a worm on the concrete. We were walking and she goes, "Oh, where'd he come from?" I said, "He's one lucky fella. You just pick him up and put him back in the grass." She goes, "I'm not touching that." Like, well, I'm going to put him back in the grass. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like, how did he even get through the snow? Wow, amazing. So,
That is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's nice. And when
Every
you see
place.
that, that's spring. That's spring to me. When you
Yeah,
ask
the
what's
worms.
spring, I see that and I
Yeah.
see just life kind of pushing through the soil. And I
Mhm.
also know it's coming when I'm clearing out my cupboard. Like I'm clearing out even the fridge and I'm wanting more fresh produce in there and I'm
Yeah.
yeah, and clothing. I'm getting rid of stuff and yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. I love it.
Decluttering, decluttering,
Yeah. Yeah.
pulling the plants out into the room, into the sun, really getting in. And, I haven't done the good deep clean, the spring cleaning of the house yet,
Yeah.
but that's coming because I love
Yeah.
a beautiful sunny day for that and open the windows. And, we all do it. We all
Yeah.
love that. So, yeah,
Yeah. Or some people like the feeling afterwards more than the process of the spring cleaning.
yes.
You are a weirdo that you love cleaning. I
Well, I don't know
love
if I
that.
love it.
I
I've
love,
been conditioned to love it.
well, no.
My mother
I
had
don't
us
know.
cleaning really young when we were young, and so it's not a chore for me. I just
Yeah.
love to see my floor clean or the dust gone, and there's just a satisfaction of that.
Huge.
Look
That's a
how,
dopamine hit right there.
yeah, look how easy that was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For you, it's easy. But it's not
Well,
easy, and it is easy for me now, but when I was younger, it was not. I was a bit of a slob when I was younger. I tell my friends who have kids that are slobs and stuff, I'm like, trust me. My mom thought there was no hope for me. My clothes, whatever came out of my closet, went onto my bed, and I'd sleep under a pile of like 20 different pieces of clothing, and everything I had would. out, and then I'd have to wash everything. It wasn't even
Oh.
dirty because it was all wrinkled. I
Oh,
was
isn't
a
that
mess.
funny how
I
oh
was a
my no,
mess.
you weren't. You know,
I
I
know.
was I was in the room with a room like maybe 50 square feet, if that, not 50 square feet. So tiny. And there was 3 of us in there. And it was
Wow.
yeah, because we had
Nursing,
a
is that nursing dorm?
no, 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 this was growing up, and this was after we'd
Yeah.
had a house fire as when we were all young, and we moved into this small trailer, and I had one drawer and then half of the closet, like or a corner of it. And man, would it ever drive me nuts when their clothes would move over onto mine? I'm like, you can't put your stuff. And those two, my two sisters, one older, one younger, they would, oh yeah, they're taking it over. They're even going to wear my stuff.
Of
But
course.
yeah, anyway.
I used
So
to
that's
think,
why I am the way I am. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like it clean, and no, I love it
Ooh.
when you come here. Like I do keep things neat, as you know. I'm a good cleaner, and I don't like even a fork in the sink or anything. But when you come here, man, I like to have the house clean, but it's cleaner when you leave. It's cleaner than when you got here. Even though my housekeeper was just here the day before you got here, it's still cleaner when you leave. I don't know
It's
how you
funny.
do it. Except for I was getting the room
Thank you.
ready for my friend who's coming in to stay for a couple weeks, and I noticed there's 2 of your coats and a couple pairs of your shoes, and it looks like even a pair of Stratz shoes down in the closet
Oh,
downstairs.
wow. That's we started a closet.
You started a closet here, the 2 of you.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do something about that.
I know.
Might have to,
I was gonna throw at his shoes, and I'm like, "No, we got space. I'll just leave them here because he might come back. They're sneakers or something." Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
they might have to go to Goodwill.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know that.
somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know if Goodwill will take them or not. They're pretty
Oh,
worn.
oh, well, that toss those. Then he didn't. He meant to toss them. Who
We'll see, we'll
knows?
see. I'll look again, I'll look again, it's all
Okay.
good. But that's the thing you do when so I've got a friend coming here, so I was, freshening up the room, making sure it's
Yeah.
good. And, I'll open a closet, and it's weird how there's just a mood. It's like in the wintertime or in the fall or whatever, you don't have that, you have movement towards other things. But there is a
Hmm.
natural movement towards, like, cleaning things out, getting rid of things. I actually get into fermenting, to that sort of part of
Hmm.
what you said about freshness in the fridge.
Sprouting. We
Sprout
get
I've
into
got tons of sprouts
sprouting.
going on right now.
Yeah.
I've got my
See,
whole little thing going, and yeah, I've
we
got a
get
bunch of
into
sprouts.
the lightness, right? The lighter clothes and the lighter colors, and we remove the heavy bed sheets,
Yeah,
um, the heavy quilts. It's like it's just like the soil. Your things are growing, and that's how we are. We're growing as well. And this is why it's so important to kind of take inventory of yourself, and how are you eating? Are you, drinking those nice cleansing drinks, those green smoothies, and your fruits and your vegetables and your sprouts, and you're growing some vegetables, and or even just you're starting your sprouts because you just want more living. You want
mhm.
to you do, you start feeling like you're coming alive. So when that starts to happen, roll with that. That's the,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
nobody's going
exactly.
to squat the flower pushing through the soil. We're going to pull some of the soil away, or maybe the snow that's sitting there, and get rid of it a little quicker so it can move out quicker. Same
Yeah,
with toxins and if we gained weight over winter, or, didn't get enough cardio in. Now's the time to get the body moving and drink that water, find a way to add in that movement, get in that meditation with the sun on your face, or, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, for me,
reflection.
I have a very hard time, and this is kind of Ayurvedic as well. I have a very hard time drinking smoothies or having fresh fruit in the winter. Like, more, I want more warm f and I'm not a big breakfast
Yes.
person anyways, but then when it starts to change, like, I've been buying strawberries and yogurt, and I wanna do
Yes.
that, and I'll probably have a smoothie or 2.
Hmm.
That's what my body wants. It wants more warmer things when it's cold, and it wants cooler things when
Yeah.
it's hot.
Yeah, because in the winter we tend to do soups and stews, and
Mhm.
and and um roasted vegetables and things
Mhm.
like that because it's more grounding and we're warming. We're trying to, keep our body temperature even and no matter where we are, even if it's, but most of the time it's when the temperatures drop.
Mhm.
And then in the spring and summer we start, getting into more vegetables and fruits and the colder drinks because yeah, we're shedding.
Yeah. I know when I'm wanting, a cold tea in the morning rather than my usual hot tea in the morning, because in the summertime, I don't want hot tea. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? And the
Yeah.
teas start changing. They start getting more
Mhm.
fruity and
Yes.
we want more flavor and blueberries and strawberries. And we start, just getting really excited by, I love it. I love the idea that we're going to have some really yummy, fresh produce,
Mhm.
coming to our markets. And yeah.
And
So
now's the time to start thinking about now Eddie will talk a little bit more about the body and food and stuff, but for me, who's very into gardening, I want to, like now's the time to watch out for farmers markets are still it's still a little too early for them, but you can start thinking about maybe signing up for a CSA, which is like a what do you call it up in Canada when you sign up for organic farm, like a
it's
share?
like a co-op. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
co-op
co-op. We call it
share.
CSA here.
Yeah.
And so you look around and then you can pick up your veggies and you can share it with somebody if it's too much for you,
Mhm.
and then you end up trying new vegetables when you do that as well. Because a lot of times you'll get vegetables that you wouldn't normally buy in the store, but then you look up recipes and,
Yeah.
find new things. So that's a great way to CSA. And then also some of the markets, there's like the Nashville Herb Society. They have their annual sale of their some vegetables, a lot of herbs that'll be at the fair
Hmm.
over, yeah, the fairgrounds over in Nashville. They'll have that in 2 weeks. That's not for another 2 weeks. So
And here in
s-
Newfoundland, we have um, the farmers market here. That's great. And then we have a beautiful company downtown called Gaze Seed, and they have all kinds of great seeds. And they have starter mushroom kits, where you can grow your own lion's mane. They have sprouting kits, which is great to do with kids, grandkids, or just even yourself, just a window ledge of some bean sprouts just popping, and you can pick off the top of those and throw them on your salad. And it's fun because they grow fast and
Yeah, this what yeah, you're talking about, Eddie, is sprouting seeds. It's like, and for those people who don't know, there's a couple of different ways to do it. But see, so you in it you see, this isn't something people don't. I had to look this up years ago. So it's the same seeds. So when you're sprouting seeds, even though it says seeds for sprouting, it's the same seeds as if you want to grow. So the arugula seeds, sprouting seeds, are the same arugula. They're just gonna only there you get a bulk for cheaper, basically is what
yes.
happens. You get bulk for cheaper. And so the instructions are usually on the bag, but you soak them for 6 to 8 hours and then you put them. I've got two methods. I've got one sort of hemp bag that I put a couple tablespoons of seeds in that, and then I just wet it twice a day and let it hang. And then I've
Mm.
got a tiered little round. This is on, you can get it on Amazon. Maybe I'll link it. So it's
Oh,
cheap.
cool.
It's probably $15, and it's 4 or 5 little round little baskets with holes in them, but the holes
Hmm.
are for the water, not the seeds. So you can put like a tablespoon or so of seeds in each one, and you water it. It goes down to the bottom, and you just water it twice a day after you do the original soaking, and then it'll grow. Like, you can do one tier if you don't go through sprouts a lot, or you can do up to four. And
Oh,
sprouts are
fun.
amazing. I love sprouts in salads because it soaks up the dressing, because I love dressing. And so it
Yes.
soaks up the dressing, so it gives a different texture. And then it's great. They're great on avocado toast too.
Oh, they're delicious. A lot of people with sprouting think back to the chia seeds. Remember
Yeah,
the chia
the chia
pet and
chia
its
pet.
hair and its hair grew and people would eat
Hmm.
that. Like, yeah, it's funny. It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. So that gets us excited about, spring and you love it because you get your hands in the soil
Hmm. Yep, I do. I
and the
love mixing my
sun.
soils and the sun. I was out in the yard for 4 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm slowly out there moving just old stumps and leaves and the ground's still got to dry out from the snow and um But it's beautiful because the river is behind and it's full and the snow's melting and the runoff is beautiful and it goes back into the ocean and back into the planet and it's all recycled and
Yeah.
reconnecting again, just like ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
taking another way to it's renewal in every way. So it's renewal in, in your thinking. It's like
Mhm.
it's almost like, how we wake up in a certain mood every day. Like some days you wake up and you feel like you can take on the world and you feel
Mhm.
so positive and so good. And other days you wake up and you just kind of drag yourself out of bed. And I feel like we have more of those uplifting, excited mornings when it's spring. It's like when you wake up
Yeah.
and there's blue sky and you know it's going to be, and I know you're not necessarily waking up that way. We're just a month ahead of you or so, or a month and a half
You
ahead of
are.
you.
Yes.
But it just feels so good to know that, I don't have time to spend all day every day out in the yard, but it was Sunday yesterday and I got to spend a lot of time. And so just that it's just very uplifting for your mind as
It
well.
is. It is. And even when you have the gray days and it's still spring and we know spring is happening, we can see it by the
Mhm.
activity outside.
Yep.
Sometimes we have to invent the sun. We have to bring out a sun lamp or,
Mhm.
you know,
Go
uh,
to a tanning bed. I know Eddie might not agree with that, but some people
yeah,
need it, when
yeah.
it's done
I
in
don't, yeah.
properly. When it's done
Hmm.
properly, like people that have major problems with the sad thing,
Yeah,
and
I'm
they
not
do
a
it.
big tanning bed fan, only because there's also sun lamps and light boxes that people can use and
Mhm.
spectrum lighting, when they need it. And but even just to get outside, just be outside.
Just be
Gray
outside.
days, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get out in the nature,
Mm.
breathe it in.
And yeah, so so we talked about that while we're waiting for the spring to happen. Like for me now, I'm full on into seedling land, so my cleaning out of the closets was kind of when I got back from India. So you're in sort of that cleaning out phase now,
Hmm.
whatever that is for you, and just sort of prepping. I had a great teacher in massage school years ago. And because most massage therapists, not all of them, because they can work for a spa, but most massage therapists are self employed. And he's like, when you're a self employed person, there's going to be times when you are super busy and the money's rolling in and you've got a lot of clients and you're busy and life is good and it's great. And then there's also going to be times when there's not as many clients and it's slower. And instead of being depressed about it being slow, you use it as time to do your taxes,
Hmm.
to, do all your, so that's what this can be too while you're waiting for the spring. If spring isn't quite there yet for you,
Hmm.
you can be sort of prepping to for your spring, the pre-prep,
Yeah, cleaning out, you
Mm-hmm.
know, organizing some things, making your your little to-do list. You don't have to have a big one, but you know what you're going to do, how does it look to you? Your type of spring cleaning, you're letting go, you're purging. What is it we're
Mm-hmm.
purging?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sometimes.
purging's good. What's that?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's people sitting back after all winter long and look and go, I was doing this and playing this kind of sport and hanging with this kind of person and they just don't vibe with me. I don't, it's been a bit toxic, huh? Maybe it's time to reevaluate, take an inventory of even how we're feeling about ourselves and the relationships we're in and it's a beautiful time
Yeah.
because it's a cleansing time.
It's
Yeah.
cleansing. So, what do you like? I know we talked about foods. I mean, in general, we want to eat foods that are in season locally when we can.
Hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
for me, so what happened with what gets me going when I know spring's here is I actually signed up and then I signed up my sister too to do the Telly 10. But we're not going to run it. We're going to walk it and it's a 10-mile 16-kilometer event and it's the 96th annual this year. So I thought hey, we can do that. So it comes with effective today, a training program. So I was like, oh, you got to walk so much, take a rest, do a CrossFit. So when I have a little plan like that, I feel good. I feel like, oh, good, this gets me outside. I have to do it because I have that goal set.
Nice. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
So,
good. My sister does the same thing.
yeah, and it gets me going, and a lot of people love that. Some people are doing like trial, or they're doing a swim, bike, run event, or they're just doing a swim event, or maybe they're just wanting to get in their bathing suit for July. They just
Mhm.
it's like, what is it that you're wanting to clean up?
Mhm.
Do we need to clean up our whole act or just a little bit?
Mhm.
It's usually just a little bit,
Mhm. Well, a
you know.
little bit is sustainable.
Yes. Is our brain foggy after the winter? How's Easter or that time spring break been? A lot of people sometimes do too much of the wrong foods during the winter.
Mhm.
And spring cleansing, that's the time to pick to eat lighter foods,
Mm.
and you want to start feeling lighter in your body. So some people, they make a plan for that. So they start, I work with a lot of people and do cleansing programs with them because they need to be guided, or some people don't want to be guided. I just say, here, order this, drink this, eat that, check in with me as you need to, because they know how to do it.
Mhm.
They do it every year.
Yeah.
They just need the plan or the
Mm.
product, or, yeah,
Mhm. And
yeah,
speaking of that, what happens, what rituals we do every year, we can't expect them to be the same every year. I mean, they're similar because there's a
yeah.
similar pulse, a similar, but we're a different age, different time. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, like you said, right now in your 60s or at 60 years old, you're not signing up for a 10K run to run 10K. You're
No.
signing up for a 10K to walk it.
Yep. And I may do a little run,
Yeah.
but I'm planning to walk it, and there'll be a lot of people walking it. There'll be a lot of
Yeah.
people running it,
Yeah.
a lot of people wanting to get the best time ever. I just really don't. That has no, the time, the amount of time I do it in, I don't have any connection to that. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm going to do it and take my time, just enjoy it, have you know, a good walk, a
Yeah.
really good time. But up until that date, I think it's in June, mid June, well, I'm doing something every day to spring clean, get ready for summer,
Yeah.
get my mind and body really feeling good and clear. And, that's one of the ways I do it. So,
And then maybe plan a trip, like, plan if spring is still a month or so or two away,
hmm,
planning a trip, taking that time, but utilizing that time to read a book and be more hibernating still until or
yeah.
plant. I mean, people in the South now, they're maybe planting their gardens now. There's different plant planners that
Hmm.
you can get to plan it, or even just plan your windowsill, like Eddie said, planning some little windowsill things. So there's can be planning if you can't quite get out yet.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Writing things down that's important to you, whether it is, to start buying seeds or planning what you're going to grow this year.
Yeah.
I usually say grow what you like to eat.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
I'm not going to try to grow something I'm not sure about. And I'm like, I'm not sure our climate would grow, pineapples, right? I mean, I'm not going to grow pineapples
No,
here.
but also too, that being said, not just that it won't grow there, but it's like Swiss chard grows like a weed here in the South, right? Like
Same
you can
here.
grow and I really don't like it. I
Oh,
just
we
don't like
love
it.
it. I love it. And kale, spinach, those things grow really well here.
Hmm.
Tomatoes, they're hit and miss, and
I
but
wish I
mostly
could
all the
send you some
green.
tomatoes because we grow
I
tomatoes
know.
like weeds here.
I
Yeah.
know.
And same with okra. I don't do it because I don't like okra, and okra
Yeah.
grows really easily here too.
Yeah, all the root vegetables grow well here. Beets, radish,
Hmm.
potato, carrot, turnip, parsnip. Yep. They all grow really well here. But again, you have to tend to your garden, and when you tend to your garden, the same applies to yourself. You have to tend to yourself like you're a garden.
Mhm.
You know, a gardener doesn't, look at just the leaves of his plant if it's not growing. He looks at the root. And that's what we have to do with ourselves. We have to go, oh, if this is going on, what's going on inside? Maybe I'm deficient in something. And we take inventory of that. We take inventory of, oh, I haven't been eating oranges. Maybe I should add them back in, or bananas, or grapes, or my greens, because we know our fruits and vegetables really help us detox. They're natural cleansers. They're full of nutrients and antioxidants and polyphenols, and they are anti-inflammatory. They're alkalining. All that's healing, and that's what we do in the spring. We work on healing ourselves and the planet, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is make the sun tea. That's more of a summer thing, but it was almost warm enough here to do it the other day. My lemon balm's coming up, my mint's coming up,
Oh,
and to
great.
make,
Oh gosh, here she
tea.
comes. I'm kidding. She makes a
Oh,
great You make great tea. It's
I do
awesome.
love my teas. My favorite right now is hibiscus with coconut milk. So I make the hibiscus like I always do, and then I add coconut milk, and it's
Oh,
good, so good
yum.
chilled. It is like it's pink. It's a really pretty color.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, it's quite fabulous.
I love the
Mhm.
coconut milk with turmeric too.
Yeah,
It's really
turmeric and
yummy.
then ginger too, or
And
just
ginger.
yeah, yeah. I'm
The
growing ginger
golden.
and turmeric this year too. I'm sprouting them.
Yay.
You can take it needs, of course, sort of a warmer climate because you think about ginger and turmeric grows like in Thailand and Indonesia and stuff.
Hmm.
So you need kind of a warm, really hot, warm to hot, but then also humid, which we have humidity, but I'll have to water it because it likes to stay wet. So you can
Hmm.
just take turmeric from the store and you look for these little bumps on the side, which unfortunately a lot of times they cut off, but it's the
Hmm.
bumps along the side of the really big chunks that sprouts, and you can just put it in a tray and spray it with water.
Ooh.
A little bit, and it'll start sprouting after about 10 days or so, and then you just put it in dirt, and then a little shoot comes up, and then the root grows bigger, and
Oh,
yeah.
great. I'm going to try that and put it in my greenhouse as soon as the
Yes, it'd be
sun
great.
comes out.
Mhm. Well, you can buy the ginger now, see? It'll be part of
Yes.
your sprouting process. You can start it in the
Yes,
kitchen.
I will.
Yeah.
I have ginger on my windowsill now. I'll just let
Mhm.
it sit.
Well, it won't do it. You gotta spritz it with water every day and lay it in just a little bit of water, because
Oh, okay.
ginger, it
Yes,
shrivels
that's
up as it
right.
gets old, right?
Yep.
So you wanna usually there's something sprayed on it to keep it from having growth. So that's why you spritz it, but you want to keep it moist. And
Hmm.
then if it's going to sprout and there's little nodules, you have to look it up. There's little nodules that are on the side, not the ends. You're looking for these little bumps that almost look like little knuckles, and they're
Okay.
what sprouts. And so you just spritz it every day. So you want to start now because you want to, yeah,
Okay.
it's easier to do, especially when you have a short season.
Okay, good. Yep.
And
I will do
you
that.
could put it in a pot too and bring it in for the winter
Hmm.
if you wanted to, because it
That's
kind of looks like lemongrass. It's like little shoots sticking out.
wow. I didn't realize it was that easy to grow.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody keeps wanting me to do a gardening class, which I never thought I'd do because I was but I've just been learning every year and I love learning. And now after 12, 13 years of doing it, I kind of know a thing or two.
You
And
should,
well, I
because
was
you have
thinking
a
of doing
beautiful
one.
garden and you
Well,
could,
yeah, and I was thinking
yeah,
of doing it like with meditation and yoga, like doing a half and half kind of thing.
for
So
sure. Oh my gosh.
it's
Yeah.
percolating, but now my May is so full that I don't know if I can now, but we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I will
Yeah.
in May because May is a perfect month to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, see what life brings you.
Hmm.
Maybe it will happen.
Yes, being open to the possibilities, but not forcing anything. That's what Eddie and I talk
Hmm.
about. It's like, I've always been, yeah, Eddie and I are both self-employed. And so it's like we've always been into, creating things. We're both very creative. But these days we are still creative, but it's like I have to have three or four people ask me to do something before I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't just like think of a course like I used to when I was younger and then, put it up and advertise it and stuff. That's not how I do it. So I actually literally have had three or four people ask me, "Will you teach me gardening, or why don't you do a gardening class, and that's how.
Yeah.
And then
Plus
somebody
you
else.
love it. Plus you love it.
Oh,
You
obviously,
love it.
yeah.
It's one of you're passionate about it and you're good
Mhm.
at it and you've always been teaching and
Mm.
you've always been resourceful and and that's what we do in our lives too is we kind of I'm similar in my office. I'm like, I do the cliff notes of nutrition for people. They don't want to read the encyclopedia. I'm like, okay, let's do the cliff notes. And same with gardening. Some people don't want to go through the years and years and the sprouting and the kombucha that you've done. And I remember looking at your little SCOBY in the back. I mean, it's a little bacteria, little SCOBY. Like you, and if you research kombucha, and she's back there with strawberries and she's feeding. Oh, I can't go yet. I have to feed it. I'm like, oh my God. She's got to feed her SCOBY. Okay, moving right along. I won't be doing that. Okay.
I've
But
got an
anyway,
easier way to ferment now, Eddie. I've got one
that's
you
good.
want to do. Do you make a ginger bug? I'll send you the link and I'll link
Okay.
it for you guys too. It's this two Irish twins that are adorable. They're in their, I think, early 40s now, and they're vegan cooks. And they
Okay.
and they do a thing with a fermenting girl. She's Irish too. And you make a ginger bug with ginger and like raw sugar, coconut sugar, and you can keep it on your counter. And then you can make fermented like sodas and stuff like every day. And
Beautiful.
you will love it. You will
Beautiful.
love it.
Because
No SCOBY
fermented,
involved.
excellent. Because fermenting is so important. Fermented foods are so important to eat. They're part of that whole spring cleansing, and your gut flora gets cleansed when we drink and eat these fermented foods. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's another thing. Gosh, we're really tapping in today.
I'm excited. We're very much into spring here. So, and you'll get there. You'll get there. You're just a little behind us.
Yes, you'll see as our podcasts move through the spring and into the summer, we're going to be comparing our fruits and vegetables, our greens. Yeah.
So
We just
fun.
it is. And we just automatically, just intuitively listen to yourself and just feel into what you're needing as spring comes into being and drink your water and get out in the sunshine and do that little thing with the ginger and let some stuff go, clear a closet, just feel good about the shifting and the changing and the growth that's happening within.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What she said.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Until we meet again, we hope you are feeling the energy and the movement towards spring, and that you're just being in the listening.
Yeah. Be springy.
Be
Love
light.
you.
Love you.